Hello world, once again. Welcome back to another digital art stream. Here we're gonna work on drawing some digital dragons, and this is kind of gonna be done as a prelude to Coulee Con, which is this coming weekend. Very exciting stuff. It's a fun little convention that is moving online for the year due to COVID-19. And yeah, since it's online, hopefully a lot more people will be able to attend digitally since it is a relatively small Midwestern convention. So yeah, I'll be doing a little bit of artwork during the convention, streaming it similarly to what I'm doing here. And so this is just kind of, I guess, warming up a little bit, you could say. I'm just kind of gonna walk through my process, focusing on dragons as the subject matter, and we're going to walk through kind of sketching out, throwing in some colors, and then starting kind of the painting slash detailing process, and hopefully we can get through all of that in like an hour or so. That's kind of the plan. So, I mentioned last time that I needed to pick out a dragon type to draw. Like, what kind of dragon should I draw? If anyone does have any suggestions or recommendations, feel free to drop those in the comments or live chat. On a quick note, I don't know if the live chat is like instantaneous, so just uh, just as a heads up there. Um, yeah, there. I'm not sure if I always get the notification when when someone says anything in chat. So if I missed that, sorry, but definitely feel free to leave a message in the comments below, um, or um, or in the chat. So last time I mentioned that I would probably try to do some sort of a lightning dragon. So Pikachu meets dragon, or Charizard, I guess. Which, yeah, that'd be a more obvious reference. Um, for that, I'm thinking that metal makes a lot of sense. So some sort of metallic like creature. And when I think of metal, I think of sharp edges, kind of artificial. So that's something I'll probably keep in mind. The sharp edges also kind of complements the idea of lightning, I feel. So again, just kind of this idea of like lightning, dragon seems to kind of be coming together. So haven't put a ton of thought into it, but yeah, we'll see what we can come up with here. Uh, so brushes I'm not going to go into detail about everything, but setting up your brush is kind of a big thing. It's kind of determining what kind of tool you're working with, whether it's like do you want to work with a Sharpie, or do you want to work with a pencil, or do you want to work with a pen, or whatever it is. And so I play with the flow up here quite a bit. That determines how quickly um, the ink comes out, if you will, or how dark it is. Um, so I can set that down, do some shading. So I'll play with that quite a bit. And then the other thing is I almost always leave my hardness all the way up, just because that gives me the most control. And then I'll just adjust the size to whatever I'm working on. For starters, we're going to have it be relatively large because we're just going to block in some shapes. I think I'll do like a dragon portrait-ish look, kind of like off of the Aragon book stuff, except I don't want to copy it like exactly. So maybe we'll do like a dragon looking up, kind of. How's that? Alrighty. kind of dig it. All right. Not sure what I'm gonna do with the horns. That's not bad for a shape. Kind of digging that. So we got like the mouth here, and the eye would be up here somewhere, and the snout, nose right there. So probably got some brows coming up here. Gotta connect the horn. Maybe do some sort of plates or something going back. And the other horn probably would be visible to some extent. Just kind of poking up here. There we go. All right. And one of the reasons I'll start with a gray in the background is because it allows me to draw highlights. So I can just draw white in. And sometimes it's easier to see things with highlights or see in highlights, if you will, instead of always be thinking in like black and shadows and stuff. Don't keep your mind in the shadows. Don't let it deteriorate to the dark side. I'm sure there's a good quote somewhere, but I just I'm not actually that much of a movie or quote buff. I've watched plenty of movies. I just don't have the memory for it. So, such as the life. Okay. Awesome looking cheekbone. Check. And previously I did make a dragon with a bow and a sword on his back and a bunch of different fun things. And that was gonna be kind of this whole like, let's walk through my process. Um, but it it was a little bit complicated. So, and I actually didn't use I didn't use the same process I wanted to use. So that I actually used my old process where I got pretty detailed with the sketching phase. And that is not my new process. Um, so what I'd like to show you guys, is my new process, which is a lot more painting heavy. Um, so we're gonna see if we can do that instead of focusing too much on the black and white sketch here. Definitely would suggest anyone who's into conventions, especially this year since they're not able to meet in person, give some support to your local artists and your local conventions. That is going to be greatly appreciated as we try to keep with the social distancing and, you know, keep an active community of people who love video games and comics and all things awesome. Basically, what the industry stands for, right? Let's do some darker stuff here. Okay. In the actual stream, I may end up going with a different pose. I probably will. Um, but I can't say I'm disappointed with this so far. As you can tell, I get in the habit of going back and forth between uh, drawing in highlights and drawing in lowlights, and just it's really where I smooth stuff out is by going back and forth instead of using like a lesser brush. Or a less potent brush. I'll just go back and forth a few more extra times and work with it that way. All right, I think that we've got this pretty well done. right. So let's throw in some colors. Do this. Doesn't really scream lightning dragon, does he? Not really. Let's make him scream a little bit more. More lightning. I didn't really go all in with the whole sharp edges vibe. I think I can drive sharp edges home a lot better. Here we go. I can do a little lightning design with the scale here. Very inconspicuous. Right. You can see how I sometimes fall back into the habit of going too detailed with the sketch, and then I end up with my old method of working. Obviously, that's not going to happen this time because I'm super dedicated to not doing that and working in this new method that has more painting stuff going down than it does um, than it has drawing. Um, but you can see where I do enjoy drawing quite a bit. All right, so I would say he's looking more lightning focused. Throw some zappy stuff in his eyes, and he'll be great. But what we're gonna do now is slap some colors on, and keep rolling with it from there. So let's see, color-wise, what do we want? Bum, 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 bum. Well, metal is normally associated with blue. Um, I was thinking metallic stuff. That's not bad. Oh, there's another gradient map. Mobby. Let's throw on a gradient. that darker and this lighter and bluer. Then if we throw an overlay, yeah, something like that is kind of what I was thinking. Have some sort of like blue lightning be up above and some darker, muddier colors be coming from below. Alright, so then we've got our sketching layer. We've got our colors, which consist of two layers, a gradient map, which colors the whole thing. Uh, well, I'm not going to explain what a gradient map is, but anyways, a gradient map and a gradient fill layer, both of which are creating the colors so far. And so we're just going to pop these in here. Say colors. Pop this in here. Say sketch. And then we're going to create a new one and say painting. And as you can imagine, now we just throw on some painting stuff. I do feel like it's a little bit boring, so let's throw another gradient in for color's sake. Let's throw like a purple in. And let's have it be kind of coming from the sky-ish, but maybe down like that or something. So it doesn't need to be super strong. That's not bad, but we're gonna need another one that we throw in as a radial. We're just gonna make it normal so we can see what we're working with. And we're gonna pop it down here. Again, just adding a little bit of color, which this would probably be considered like ambient light. But yeah. And we'll make that be 50% fill. Awesome. Now we've got a little bit of color going on, and that should break stuff up nicely for the painting. So, painting. Pretty simple stuff. Yeah, essentially, I'm just going to grab from this, well, what I have, the sketch, and draw on top of it with the colors and stuff. So, for instance, right up here we've got a lot of white going on. Not really super cool. So, we're going to grab a color and just paint in some of the blue. Reducing the highlights, also reducing the lowlights. It's flattening out the picture is what it's doing right now. Let's bring in some of this blue for the highlights to add a little bit of difference, little variation. And let's grab a little bit of this for the underside of his chin here. It's gonna stick out right away as like, why is this color up here? But as we continue to work on the picture, I think it should blend in nicely. Okie dokie. And yeah, I think painting helps with keeping, well, using more colors in more interesting ways. Again, I haven't been using this method for all that long. I've mainly just been doing the drawing and then coloring in and stuff. But I feel like uh, once I get used to the idea of painting in the color, well, painting in details, taking it from a rough sketch to a finished painting, I think that's gonna increase my workflow quite a bit. So here's hoping. Not that I'm super slow. I think I'm a decently paced artist. You know, just always am looking for ways to improve. Um, for his eyes, let's throw in some. Hmm. So one thing I do recognize now is the fact that I'm not talking while I'm painting or drawing. So yeah, if this is getting too boring, then feel free to let me know. Doubt I'll be able to do much about it, but maybe I can get better at talking while I'm drawing too. Or I could just get better at drawing, and then it wouldn't take so long. Yeah, I don't know if that one's an option at the moment. We'll see. So if anyone in the chat or watching this later wants to chime in, I'd be interested to hear what your guys' favorite dragons are. Yeah, I used to think rock dragons were the best because they could like normally spit out magma or something, and I always felt like magma was like kind of the end all be all, like nothing can stand up to that. The main thing about earth dragons is that they can't normally fly, so yeah, they're a little bit more chunky. So they do have their disadvantages as well. Uh, so I like this like really deep blue contrasting this bright whites and stuff. That really creates a nice armor vibe. Uh,
And up there is not bad, really, especially on kind of the right side of it over here. This shadow, not bad, not bad at all. We should be getting more of this brown bounce light on the other side, though, I believe. So pop some of that in. Grab some just this darkness. And we'll grab some of this purple. Try to make the lighter edge of everything pop out a little bit better because the darkness was a little overwhelming there. And then we're going to grab some of the blue and fill the other side with a little bit blue highlight. So one thing I like about this painted style is it allows me to get really sharp corners better. Um, the edging, like, I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the contrasting colors just helps me work on the edges better. Um, I don't know exactly what it is. It could also be that when you're working in black and white, you need to have uh, you only find contrast by having light and darkness, whereas when you're dealing with uh, colors, you can kind of lay down a color that's very similar in value um, to another color, but it stands out as its own unique. Oh yeah, that's purple or whatever. So don't know what it is, but I feel like I can make a lot sharper of edges, which is really cool, really fun.
get some purple light going on down here, so. Let's see. Oh, haven't even been working on this an hour. Wow. I am excited. This is this is much better than I thought it would be in under an hour. So this is cool. This is cool. I feel like this highlighted light should probably actually be colored. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna grab this. What happened to all of our... I thought we had some redder values. No, it doesn't look like we do. Okay, well, I'll just make some. We're gonna grab some orange. Um, don't need it to be too overpowering. That'll probably do the trick. And we're gonna use this as the highlight for this metal part. See what it looks like. Just gonna increase the flow a bit. Alright, and then down here. Okay. Alrighty. So here I'm just trying to add a little bit of a lip to these neck scales, um, and also throw in some highlighting and stuff, and also trying to keep them so that they have a little bit of their kind of metallic vibe still. Okay. Alright, alright. Getting caught up on the little things here. nice, very nice. All right. Let's grab a little bit of this. Here. Same with this stuff. And let's see, this is all blue light up here, obviously, so we're gonna grab a little bit of that, throw it down to here. Alright, alright. Um, let's grab some of this. I had a kind of cool shape here going on. I kind of want to get back with some of these highlights. Let's grab some of this purple ambient lighting, throw it on the tops here. Just like everything in art, it's really about like patterns and creating patterns for people to see. At least that's the vibe I get. That's what I try to convey with when I'm creating like lighting schemes and stuff. I'm like, well, I could pay attention. I do try to pay attention to the light sources and all that good stuff. But if there is uh, if there is a pattern that I can create that will help people recognize like what the shape is supposed to be, then that is very useful. this point, we're missing out on this brown stuff quite a bit. And furthermore, we also don't have any bright highlights, which is making it feel a little odd. I feel. I say as I draw over my highlights. Alrighty, so these highlights are probably just going to be straight up from here. See what that looks like. It's not bad at all. Though it could use just a bit brighter of a sheen. Very cool, very cool. And also, I noticed that adding in some darkness next to these brown highlights should give a more metallic vibe and just hide the color change in a little bit better, I believe. Because otherwise it looks a little bit like, well, what's going on with that brown? It's just kind of weird. But if you get a really sharp contrast, then that makes it feel more reflective. And yeah, it just helps everything tie in better. So we're just gonna kind of try to work in same stuff here. Hey, thanks for the compliment. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. Yeah, I was anticipating it maybe being this good when like I was 2 hours into it or something. So I'm pretty impressed with it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Um, this whole new way of working with doing a rough sketch and then throwing in some colors and then painting over it really seems like it's gonna pay off in the long run. So, and dragons are always fun to work on. I, that's just kind of a fact of life. So, all right, we're gonna grab some of this teal and we'll grab some of this teal. And we're just gonna try to have this be reserved for the left edges. Maybe we'll have like a lightning strike on the left edge. That'd be kind of fun and cool. But again, it's just kind of fun to pick out a color and say, well, yeah, this is what this is going to be used for. Do we have a dark blue? Here's kind of dark blue. I was looking for truer blue. Here we go. Something like this. let's see, what can I talk about here? Well, right now, in the same way that I play around with shading back and forth, I'm also just kind of playing around with I'm also playing around with the colors and contrast and everything. Mainly the shadows here, trying to make sure that those stand out as being shadows with, you know, the surface and stuff. As you can tell, I'm really no good at talking when I'm trying to think. Alright, I should work my way up to the horns, probably do those, then call this good. Because, yeah, this is turned out pretty decently. Oh, I should also throw in a background real quick, too. That's a good idea. Uh, so much to do, so little time. I also could probably use a bit of an overhaul here. Let's see. Fun eye check. Let's try and get these horns in order. So we've got some purple light coming in from the side here. So we're gonna grab some of this purple color. We've got some gray stuff going on here, which I don't know if the horns are gonna look right if they're gray, but let's try them as being kind of a gray. I'm guessing they won't look right because we already threw on that purple, so that would indicate that they reflect a decent amount of ambient light, which means if we've got all this blue stuff going on, why are they gray? But we'll see what we end up with. Grab a bit of this for the bottom of this one here. Grab some of this blue for some of the shadows. Well, we can go with a bluer blue. Might be kind of fun for the horns. Actually, let's go to our history here and just step back a few times. Then let's throw on some of this. So since I'm doing like a more or less changing the base color of the horn here, I'm not being very subtle with it. And yeah, subtlety is really not something you want when you're making large changes to like pictures or artwork. At least that's been my experience. So, alright, so now that we've got that going on, we can grab some of this darker stuff.
That's what we're looking for. Grab a bit of this teal. And we'll do bounce light here and just decrease this overall because I don't think there'd be that much teal from the angle of light that we supposedly have set up here. Grab some of this, pop on the bottom here. Right, and we'll grab a little bit of this for these highlights. A bit of bounce light there. Highlight here. Ambient light here. Ambient light. Illuminate some of this. And the main attraction. Alright, so I think that, well, obviously you can see that I could spend a long, long time polishing this up, making it better. I mean, shoot, I could spend a long time becoming a better artist. But I think that, you know, it this showcases kind of the basics of the workflow that I'm trying to adapt as far as being more of a painted, it being more of a painted style. So yeah, lots of good stuff. I'll really quickly throw on some stuff over this wing here. And
grab some of this down here. Very good, very good. Theoretically, this could also use that teal highlight edge lighting, but now that I think about it, it's not really facing the same direction, so it probably wouldn't be getting that light. Alright, so we've got the dragon here, and in order to... So, one thing we can do here is we can disable um, the sketch layer, just to see what we end up with. Okay, so we definitely want that sketch layer. The other question then is if we take the sketch layer and the color layer and duplicate them and merge them. Oh wait, no. Merge the colors. Well, okay, so we want to grab all the things from the color layer, plop it onto the sketch layer with the clipping mask, then merge that. And then we can hide those two, see what we end up with. That looks okay. Um, but we can get it even to look even better, I believe. And how we do that is we disable the painting layer, just bring up the sketch layer, grab this background gray. This is a process I came up with for my whole sketching thing, sketching phase or whatever, what have you. And basically well, I call it a solidify process. But what it does is it makes this sketch, which is filled with alpha, largely because I use the gray to make well, I use the gray so I can just draw on highlights. Anyways, this is I'm what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of alpha in this image right now. And if I paint this all red, a bright red, then you can see all of the alpha showing up. In order to get rid of that, we can make a layer directly beneath the sketch, grab that background gray that we had already grabbed from the background, create, we'll up our flow so that's 100%, so it's kind of like we're dealing with a marker almost. Then just marker in back behind the sketch, and it should make all of the alpha. It should take out all of the alpha. After I get done with this, then I can merge layers down, and we shouldn't have any issue with any alpha. I'm not going to spend a ton of time. Normally I would like zoom in and make sure that all of the edges were smooth and all that good jazz. But since I'm just planning on wrapping this up real quick, I will just kind of go over it at a faster pace. Doo -doo -doo. And I don't know if you've ever drawn with a marker before, but this whole process is a lot like drawing with a marker. You gotta be confident, you gotta know what you're doing, and if you make a mistake, do Control Z. Oh wait, you can't do that with markers. But yeah, you just gotta be bold kind of with it. Anyways, so we got those two. I'm just gonna duplicate it for the sake of reference. Merge those down. Alright, I'm gonna duplicate this guy, pop him up here. We're gonna hide the sketch layer now. We're gonna delete these copies because we don't need those. Oh, we do want you though. So there we go. Don't need those. We're gonna copy all of the color effects like we had previously done. Oh, you can just drag layers down into the new layer icon and it'll copy them. So that's how I do that. And where do we have? Oh, it's because they are, yeah, they were a part of a group. All right, now we can create clipping mask. All right, so now we have this as like our base. And when we pop on the painting on top of that, boom, we have that. Cool thing about all of this is we can throw on a background to say, what? Isn't that cool? This frees up our background so we can pop in an awesome looking whatever we want. And assuming we want to throw in some clouds and stuff, because again, this is lightning dragon, right? So we're gonna just throw in some quick clouds. And again, I would spend more time on this, but I am wanting to wrap it up. One thing that is fun though, if you want to do smoke instead of clouds, I know I just said I was doing clouds, but if you want to do smoke, then you can just erase some of the insides of the clouds, and it kind of um, gives some volume and shape to them, which is kind of fun if you wanted to do smoke. Since we're doing clouds, I'm just going to grab some colors here, and we're going to paint relatively quickly. Storage space. Who needs it, right? Besides me. Alright. Yeah. Um, let's throw in a gradient. Like that. Overlay. Let's do that and paint out some of it here. Alright, don't know if it really gives a lightning dragon vibe, but it gives a much better dragon vibe than I thought I was gonna get in the amount of time that I spent. So yeah, uh, this this is pretty solid. Again, to just do a quick recap of what this all is, we have our painting, uh, our painting layer, and then we have all the colors that we threw on, and then we have our base sketch, and we did throw in a background. But yeah, that's the background. Alrighty, well, as always, well, first off, I should mention, just reiterating again, this is a quick kind of prelude to what I'll be doing for a small convention called Coulee Con. And if you're interested in Coulee Con, check out their website. I might have posted it in the link in the comments or in the description. If I didn't, then, well, um, yeah, let me know and I'll probably update it with the link. Anyways, link is in the description below. Coulee Con is a fun little um, convention in the Midwest, and it's family friendly. They've got D&D, they've got Animal Crossing, they've got bunch of fun stuff going on. So be sure to check that out. It's next weekend if you've got some free time. Uh, support local businesses and conventions this year, especially because it's a lot harder, a lot more challenging to do that sort of stuff. Again, I'll be doing a little presentation on how to draw something similar to this, a dragon of some sorts. Uh, just kind of covering my digital art process and taking questions and all that good jazz there. If you are interested in more of my artwork, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, DeviantArt, Instagram, bunch of places. Eventually, I'm going to get back onto ArtStation. That hasn't happened yet, but I will. So, yeah. So you can check out more of my artwork there. Also more here on YouTube. I do speed drawings that I post or did post a while back. So be sure to check those out as well. And then a final thing that is a project that I've been working on. It's called Spoons Buzz. It's a free-to-play mobile game that I published. It's at the end of last year, and yeah, it's fun, unique. It's needs an update badly, so we are working on developing that and getting something that's a little bit more substantial. But it's a fun little thing to enjoy with friends if you want to connect kind of on a more, um, I don't know, intermittent schedule and just kind of compete casually with friends. It's a great game for that. So be sure to check that out on Android or iOS. And that about does it for me for today. Yeah, hope that everyone enjoyed the drawing. I apologize for not being able to really keep up a conversation. Well, obviously there's no conversation going on, but I couldn't even really keep talking while I was getting into the art stuff. So hopefully I get better at that. That being said, I'm just happy with how the art is turning out. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for the compliments. Uh, really appreciate seeing those. And we will catch all of y'all later.